Disclaimer: we had some technical issues with the audio for this episode, so we've had to use a slightly lower quality backup. However, the content is amazing, and we hope you still enjoy it. Here you go.
Welcome back to the Favour and Adam podcast, Anecdote. This week we are joined by...
Hey guys, I'm Iyanu. I met Favour, I don't know, this year. He claims I met me last year, but we definitely know that's a lie. We started the podcast and he's already lying, but yeah.
I don't lie, there's no lies on this podcast, only
but
facts.
Favour's a good friend of mine, and yeah.
Yeah, I think we met, I think I met you, well, other than last year, this year when we did properly meet, it was just at our house, or me and Dan's house, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then Molly and the rest I met at the first few motives. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, that's how we know each other. Would you like to get straight into your story?
Oh, okay. Oh, so my story today...
Give us a topic.
Okay, so the topic... So the topic today would be my... me exploring the underground tunnels of my old school.
That sounds dodgy.
Underground tunnels of your old school.
Yeah, so for sixth form, I went to like a private boarding school in the south. I'm not going to tell. It was in Reading, and it was a posh school and everything. So I had been to a state. I'm from Newham, East London, so I went to state school in Newham, just doing my thing. Ended up going to this new sixth form, this boarding school, and this is like towards the end of my time there in year 13, like during exam time. One of my friends who's been there for like 5 years, the school goes from year 9 to year 13. He tells me, oh, check out this, or do you want to come with me to the, what's it called? To the tunnels underneath the school. I'm like, tunnels? There's tunnels underneath the school. He's like, yeah, because the school had been like, the school was built for the children of World War II orphans, or what? No, not World War II, the Battle of Waterloo orphans, or just like just veterans in it, and they had to protect the school during bombings in World War II. So they built these underground tunnels. So then where should I start from? Okay, so the first day we go, it's all light. I'm like, I'm not sure what to do, but I just follow him. So we walk, we do this thing inconspicuously. It's just two of us. We're just walking. And in the hallway to like the main college, because we come from my boarding house, I need to walk to the main college. The tunnel that we went to that day was in the main college. And I'm walking, and he's taking me along my normal route. I'm like, where are the tunnels, bro? Like, this is where I go like, every day. I don't see any tunnels. Next thing I know, my guy takes a right and a left and a right. Tells me to drop down one crate. Boom. It's just pitch black. I can't see a thing. Like, I call out his name.
Wait, it's still midday, right?
This is midday. But he takes me to like, I don't even know where he's taking me. Like, he's taking me to some next like crate. I drop down. He's like, oh yeah, just squeeze through. This thing is tight, bro. I can't. I'm not even a big person as well, but I'm trying to squeeze my way through. I drop down, and then he drops down afterwards. I call his name, he doesn't respond. I'm like, okay, don't play with me. I ain't trying to die today. Don't play with me. I call his name again, he doesn't respond. He just jumps out behind me. Like, I was about to swing with him.
Yes, if that was me, someone would have died that day.
Imagine this white guy takes you to like some next crate, like an abandoned tunnel.
You're in a private school as well, you don't know.
Just like, get out, fam. I was so scared. I was so scared. So we end up exploring these tunnels, and they're pretty cool. And people have written their names on it, like their names. I think I went back there a couple of days later with some other people. I wrote my name on there. It was pretty cool. That was the first tunnel we went to. The second tunnel we went to was, this was near my chemistry block, because I did A-levels, maths, physics, and chemistry. And I didn't know that there were any tunnels near there. So he was like, oh, come with me. We're going again. After the first time, I was like, I do not want to follow this guy, fam, because he's going to try to kill me. I'll probably be using like some sacrifices or ritual or something. My trust is gone. But the thing is, at this point, a lot of people have left, have gone home to study, or a lot of people have already finished their exams, so it's only like a couple of people left, like at on campus and in the boarding house. So we're obviously close friends, but like I thought, hey, I've got nothing better to do. Let me go, put my life at risk again.
That's how the best stories start, though. I mean, like a bunch of my friends, we just done dumb stuff. We were like, what's the worst that can happen? We die.
Yeah. For real. So we go down these tunnels near the chemistry block. These tunnels are even scarier. So we jump down and like we need to do some kind of like maneuver where you need to like jump into a wall. It's like some Tomb Raider kind of stuff. You jump into a wall and then you propel yourself up and you like go through another small nook and cranny. I'm like, bro, where are you taking me, fam? My clothes are getting dirty. I was wearing like white superstars or something like that. Those are brucked up. I was just annoyed. But then we keep going through these tunnels. I was just exploring, like, these tunnels are very, like, serious. They're deep underground. Not that deep, actually. Probably like a good probably like 5 meters underground. That's kind of, it's okay.
I wouldn't want to be 5 meters underground.
For real. So then we keep exploring these tunnels and that. And it's all good and everything, like, but then there was one bit where, like, the tunnels were really wet. I got really scared and I started hearing noises. I was like, what's going on? Like, and also like you can't going into these tunnels is banned by the school, so you can't really do it. It's not allowed at all. So
makes it more fun though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So this is the kick of the story. Actually, so after we left the tunnel near the chemistry block, we tried to go back there like the day after, and it's chained up. They realized because we had to move the grate a little bit to get into it, and they realized that it's been moved. So they then bolt it up using chains. We're like, oh snap! Like we can't go through there anymore. So then this is the riskiest bit. This is the kick of the story. So there's another day. We get some other mates, and we go to this one tunnel. It's not really a tunnel. It's like a room that's underground. So in our school we have like a cricket pavilion, and we have like a house, not a house but a building outside the cricket place, and the tunnel's right under there. So then and apparently like there's like some secret there's some secret like I don't know like items there, like you just get a lot of random stuff there. So we end up going down to this place, but this time people are coming back from chapel because in my school we have chapel every Sunday. Yeah. But people are coming back from chapel to the boarding house. So we end up going into this like tunnel secret room, and as we're coming out, people are walking. So this tunnel's like off the main road, so it's a bit weird. You kind of need to make sure you're not seen entering the tunnel or leaving the tunnel. So entering the tunnel is calm, like we do it. Nobody really knows what's going on. We enter the tunnel, and like we're in this room. It's not too big. It's like probably the size of my room here, and there's like a secret trophy there. It's just pretty cool, isn't it? It's not that deep. But as we're leaving, we start to hear noises. Guess what? It's like 300 people leaving the chapel, walking back down the main road towards my boarding house. And we start like trapping ourselves. We are shook at this point. A couple men hop up quick because we need to come out of a ladder, push the grate up, and then leave. So the first 2 people go, they're calm. Then it's me and my friend who's in my boarding house. We're inside the room, and we're staring up at like the main road, trying to see. Like we're out on the ladder trying to see where people are. My friend takes this opportunity and he just quickly jumps out. He hops out. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm the last one. And the thing is, the room's very muddy as well, so you're getting a lot of mud in your clothes. So imagine people are wearing like white t-shirts and jeans, and the jeans are just bare muddy. You're walking around some random students just with muddy jeans on. Okay, so this is the kicker. Yeah, it's my turn to come out of the crates. Okay, so I climb up. I'm like, there are people there. I'm not too sure. So I'm waiting, biding my time. I let most of the people go back to the boarding house. But then there were some slackers at the back. So I thought I was safe. So I jump out. But my chemistry teacher sees me. And another teacher sees me jumping out of the crate. And I had bare suspicion. Like, I'm wearing all black. I'm wearing bottoms, like, I don't have a trim. I'm looking like scruffy as hell. I jump out like this. I'm looking dodgy as hell. One mistake, I should have got a do-rag or like a bandana or like a hood or something.
Covered your face.
Or a ski mask to cover my face.
That looks worse. That would look worse.
But then he could just run, and then they wouldn't know it's him.
True, yeah.
I jump out. And I'm just like, okay. And then I wasn't sure if they saw me, but like I'm one of the few black people in my school, and they kind of knew I was still around. And the area it was in proximity to only like it was in proximity to 3 boarding houses. Only one of them was a boys' boarding house, and I was the only black guy in that boarding house. So 2 + 2 = 4. They could kind of guess it was me just by seeing how I look. So I jump out, I dust myself off, and I don't walk around the main road back to my yard, back to my boarding house. I take an alternative route through the forest to go back because I didn't want to be seen as if, like, oh, like, why were you there? Where were you at this time?
That sounds like freaking Mission Impossible, man.
Real talk. It's a serious heist. It's a serious heist. So I leave the crate, and I go the opposite road. I go the opposite way back to my boarding house, go through the forest. Assistant housemaster walking out of the chapel as well. And he sees me jogging, all black, like my bottoms are dirty, like green mud, like just bare crap on there. I'm just jogging. It actually looks so dodgy. He's like, "Oh, Iyanu, where have you been?" I'm like, "Oh, sir, yeah, I went on a run past Killer Hill. I got a bit muddy. Yeah, I'll see you back at house." So I have to make up this excuse that I've been on some run because my school's really big. You go on like runs. It's like the school's massive. It's like a couple 100 acres. So I just try to lie and say I've been on some run. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll see you back at house.
He knows, bro.
My other friend, he got out clean. And my sister housemaster asked him, like, yo, like, what is Iyanu doing? He's like, oh, I don't know. So my other friend gets off the hook. No one sees him coming out, but 2 people see me coming out. So I've run back to house now. I throw all my stuff into the wash. I changed. I go to the shower. I as if I've just been doing work or something. Tell me why. At like 6 p.m., my housemaster knocks on my door. Hey, Iyanu, is it all right if we have a chat? I'm like, long day.
Bro, you already knew.
No, at this point, I didn't know because usually my housemaster, it was my sister housemaster that knocks on the door. And usually he just knocks in at any point just to talk in it because he knows I'm one of the people that stay over on the weekends. So, you know, he just wants to talk. It's calm. We're talking. He's like, you know, your chemistry teacher told me that she saw you jumping out this crate. What's that about? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I start gaslighting my sister housemaster.
Bro, honestly, if I was in your position, I would start just throwing the race card around. No, it was another black guy. Like, what? Because I'm black? What? Nah, it wasn't me.
It's not me. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right? What crate?
So I start gaslighting my assistant housemaster, and he's like, okay, you're not being too truthful right now, but just don't do it again. He kind of lets it go. I go down to the brew, which is like our kitchen, and then my housemaster calls me to his office. I'm like, oh my gosh. He starts off talking to me, oh, how are you? How are exams going? Are you revising well? I thought it was just a general chat because every time we walk past his office, you kind of need to talk to him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, so I heard from this teacher, X, Y, and Z. He's like, shut the door. I'm like, it's a long day for me. All I said was, so at this point, I've been busted. I have to come clean. I'm like, yeah, so I was in that crate. That was me. And I was just there. I didn't do anything wrong. We were just exploring. That's all I did. He's like, okay, I believe you. And then, yeah, that's the end of that, of the crate story. It's just recklessness and absolute
GTA.
All right. So this is probably the crazy. Up to now, I didn't think my story is even a bit crazy, but this is probably the craziest thing about the story. Yeah. So as I told you, my school's a very old school. It's got statues. It's got like weird climbing places. It's got tunnels. It's got all of that. But one thing people want to do before they leave school is take a picture in the place of a statue. So imagine you've got a building, but the statue is basically the statue in the middle of a building that's like 4 stories high, but the statue's been removed. There's basically a place for people to stand there and act like a statue.
Yeah.
And that was one of the last things I did before leaving the school. We also climbed on some roofs. Should I really be saying this? Is it too soon?
What are they gonna do? Let's be real here. Are they gonna bring you up like, yo, you got detention, man, you can't be doing that? Like, what's happening? They're gonna tell your parents, like, you're not there anymore. They can't.
And the thing is, like, this could all be lies. I could be making all of this up. Hypothetically, this is just a hypothetical. It's a pretty cool story I made up,
Yeah, I allegedly did this stuff.
I plead the fifth. Imagine I come back to my school to like try and give some alumni talk, and my housemaster sends a clip of this and says 4K.
Got your ass.
He'll be like, is this you?
No, you just gotta be like, yeah, and
just turn into try rags. What you trying to get into? What you trying to say? He's like,
no.
So we got a problem? He does that smile.
That guy is toxic.
He's a villain. He's a true menace. He needs to be put behind bars, I swear. Okay, so I'll carry on with the story. So then these statues. Okay, first of all, I'll tell the pineapple story. Sorry, this is all over the place.
No,
so in my school, there are certain pineapples on top of buildings. It's really weird, but there's just certain pineapples, and I think there's 14 pineapples on top of many buildings in my school. Like, my school's like very old, very famous, and that there's many pineapples on top of the buildings in my school, and it's a bit of a feat to be able to touch them. I don't think many people have been able to touch. I think only a few people have been able to touch all 14 in the history of the school. But in recent years, it's getting more difficult because the pathways to go touch them are getting like locked off. So usually you get a ladder or like you exit through a roof to touch them, but now you can't. Okay.
Wait, so are these like real pineapples?
No. It's just a statue of like a pineapple just on top of roofs. Okay, so this is the first pineapple I touched. So the friend who introduced me to the tunnels at first, this guy, he seems like a calm guy, but he's a bit of a mad lad sometimes. So he tells me, "Oh, Iyanu, mate, let's go touch some pineapples." I'm like, "What's this brother talking about? I'm kind of patting my chemistry exam next week. What is this guy on about?" He's like, "No, mate, it's well fun. We just got up some roofs, we climbed some ladders, we touched pineapples. They're all over the school." I'm like, I can't really refuse it because we're already like joint enterprise from what we've done earlier, so we're already in it. So I might as well carry it on. So then we're in the library, we're studying, and he tells me, like, come upstairs. I'm like, no, I'm just in my usual study space. Let's just study here. So, no, come upstairs. So we go to the top floor of the library. My guy's got a whole toolbox with him. He's got his own screwdriver. I'm like, why have you got that? Like, what are you doing? Next, this guy, he yanks open a window, which is previously locked. He yanks open the window, which leads onto the roof of the library. And we're with some of the other people we did the cricket crate with. So he yanked open the window, and like we shut all the doors of the library, go to the top floor, yank open the window, we exit through the roof, and we're chilling on the roof for just a good hour. So we can see like the whole school building just chilling there for an hour. So we touched the pineapples. I get a picture of me taking a selfie stick. We touched the pineapple like that. I was top. Just good vibes. And then there's like 7 or 8 of us on top of the roof. But then the library oversees people walking like, how should I explain this? The library oversees people walking like a walkway in the school, like a famous path that's next to some gardens, which leads to the chapel. Mm-hmm. So people are walking back from chapel. People just walk into the chapel because like there's a music school near there. That's just a famous place where people walk by. So we're on the roof talking, and someone looks up at the roof because they hear us talking along that walkway I just talked about. And we get so shook because if we're caught on the roof, like we can get banned from graduation. Like it's just a lot. It'll be a sticky one for us. Yeah. So I'm like, everybody shut up. So we go prone, like Call of Duty, World War II, Black Ops, or them ones, like Modern Warfare. We just go.
There's 8 men on the roof.
We're like, sniper. We just get down. You just all get down. And like they walk past. I pin my head up a little bit, and they're still looking. I'm like, oh. So I'm really scared at this point. And eventually they walk past and we get really shook. So we end up we take our pictures and we end up getting back and down from the library roof. We get in, we should keep studying. That's one pineapple. The second pineapple I touch, there's like a music room and in the college buildings. I mean, it's so weird. We climb up these ladders and we go through like some escape hatch. And we touched a couple more pineapples. I think I ended up touching like 2 or 3 pineapples. Like these pineapples are mad. Like, but a lot of them have been closed off in it.
Bro, your school sounds like a movie. It's an American movie.
It was it was crazy. So some of them were like group heists, other of them were solo. So some days he's got revision. Some days my boy's got revision. It's like, oh mate, I can't go touch pineapples with you now. I'm like, okay, I'll go do it myself.
That's a weird innuendo.
No, man, I'm sorry, I can't go touch pineapples. You gotta do this one solo.
Man's gotta revise, man. I can't touch pineapple.
Some days he's like, oh bro, you'll touch pineapples. I'm like, no bro, I've got physics to do. We're trying to check each other's availability. Some days we do duos, sometimes it's like duos, solos, squads, it's all mixed up. Okay, this is the final heist. The craziest heist. The final mission. It really is like Mission Impossible. So I'll talk to what I was alluding to earlier about the statues. So in my school, we've got buildings and there's statues. There were places where there used to be statues, but now people can actually stand in them. But these are like really high up. So these are like probably like 4 stories up, and there's no direct way to get to those statues. Even though it's on a balcony, the windows are barred, so you can't get out from the windows because the windows are boarding houses, which lead to a balcony and the statue places. The windows in the boarding houses are barred, so you can't get out from the boarding houses to the statues. I mean, like to the platform. So what we do, we devise a plan where we start stacking bins on top of one another, and we kind of pull ourselves up like a platform to then get onto the whole balcony. So on this balcony, we're just running across, and we can see the entire school from this balcony. And this is like in the courtyard. This is like the main part. This is the main part of the school. Like this is like the college place. This is where the chapel is. This is where the library is. This is where the dinner table is. The cafe. This is where the boarding houses are. Like this is like the main bit of college, and we're just running across these balconies. So what we do, we split up. So this is the team. There's 8 of us here. So we do 2 of us stand and watch on ground. 2 people take photos at a time, and then we have the other 2. Doing like helping with like getting people up and getting people down. So it's pretty organized. So we rotate the stations.
Organized crime.
So it starts off. I start off on the lookout. Okay, I start off on the lookout, and right at this point in time, this is a Sunday where people are in chapel. So there's 300 people in chapel, and chapel finishes at I think 8 o'clock. We started the heist at like 7 p.m. So we have 1 hour. No, I think we had like 30 minutes to get all of our pictures, to get up and down, and to get out before everybody in chapel left. Because if people in chapel leave, they would definitely see us. We'll get busted for sure. Like, we go prone. Like, we'll definitely. Like,
you had your watches synced and everything.
Exactly. So at 7:30, we're like, guys, lads, you got half an hour to do this. Let's pattern this. Okay, cool. So I start off on lookout. I'm just there like. I hear something. I go. So I'm just looking around. My friends, they help. They take like a couple. They take a couple big bids, and they take like the small bids, and we stack them on top because to get on top of the balcony. But then you need to still reach up. Thing is, the balcony's so high that even when you stack the bids, you're probably about 2 meters high, but you still need to like reach your whole body length to try and get up to the balcony and pull yourself up.
And you can't jump because the bins will just like fall in it.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to like pull yourself up from it, and even so, like it's too high for you to jump on. It's literally like you need to pull yourself up. It's kind of bad. It's like a climbing thing. You need to climb, kind of get on the bins and climb from the bins, and then pull yourself up. It's that high. So then I'm on lookout. One of my other friends is helping with getting people up. And then the next thing is the photos. So we get people like panorama, just taking a photo of people standing in the statues like this. And just there. And it was a sick photo. We got it in panorama, we got it in like the wide shot, the ultra angle, the ultra wide shot. It was a really sick photo. So then we keep rotating. We go to pictures, lookout, like statues, and then like the climbers. So then it's my turn to then help people climb. There's this big guy, like probably like 6'3". He's heavy as hell, rugby player. I'm like, Lord, why am I doing this? I had to basically lift all of his body weight and push him up, and I nearly fall down from helping push him up. It's Newton's third law. I nearly get pushed to the ground, but he gets up. And then next thing you know, it's my turn to then get pushed up. Okay, me and my boy are doing it. And at this point, my heart is racing because there have been a few people like walking around. And at one point, I had to go prone on the balcony. People had to go prone. People had to hide. Like, it was a bit mad. So it's my turn to go up. A guy helps you get up. I'm quite a good climber in it because I've got long arms. So it's quite easy for me to climb. So I'm climbing up. And I'm just like trying to not be seen on the balcony. But the thing is, on the balcony, everyone can see you because it's kind of mad. Okay, so I'm getting lifted up at this point. I'm on the balcony. And it's me and my boy. It's our turn to get our pictures taken. And we're about to jump up. But then, no. Okay. So we're on the balcony and we're moving closer towards like the statue place. We need to pull ourselves up. It's pretty hard. It takes like a lot of strength to do it. Like, at this point, I was fit. So I was out of breath from all the climbing, all the running, all the going prone. I was just tired. I end up like struggling. I get up. I take my picture. Next thing you know, people are leaving from chapel. And with chapel, you can either go like a back road back to the boarding house where we are, or a lot of people go back to their boarding houses in college. So if they left chapel, they would have seen us and we were standing there. So people would tell us, oi, 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 people come up from chapel. And my heart starts beating, like the adrenaline just boop, boop, boop. So then I drop down on the balcony. I'm prone at this point. Me and my boy are just prone. And we're like, guys, like, what should I do? They tell us, okay, stay for a second. They tell me like, go, 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 go. So to get up, it takes like 5 minutes. It takes like a good 5 minutes to get up. And usually people take their time coming down because like, you're tired. But we had like a good 10, 20 second window to run across like probably like a 50-meter balcony, jump down from the platform, run across the balcony, and then jump down again. Because if we had been climbing, people would have saw us. So after all of that, it's just mad. We take our pictures, we jump down, and again I get dirty as I usually do these escapades. I try to dust it off, but like my bottoms again are just dirty. My white tee is dirty in mud. But then, so we walk back to house, and yeah, that's the end of my escapades exploring my old boarding school.
Oh, bro.
that was a journey.
That was a GTA mission, man. Okay, a few GTA missions. That was
like a couple of them, 5-star. The last one was definitely 5-star. I'll send you the pictures later in it, but
you got helicopters looking for you and everything.
But
we know who you are. Come out now. Stand down. Stand down.
You got homing launchers and everything.
You got dogs and that just on our case. Yeah.
Bro. Oh man, no. We never did anything like that in my school. Nothing like that.
Did you guys not have like roofs you could get onto or like windows you could get out of? And
I heard of people sneaking into the attic in our school, but I never knew how they did it. So yeah, I was never involved in that, but nothing happened.
Stolen at our school.
Wait, your what?
The roof of our school just got nicked.
Hey, bro, I'm good, bro. That's all I need to do.
That's a proper house.
What the?
How did someone just steal a roof?
It was like all the tiles were like lead tiles. I think they were lead, and some they weren't school students, just some people from the local area came in at night and just nicked every single one of them. They left nothing. And the best bit is, because the school didn't know who it was, they couldn't prosecute them, so they just replaced it, and it got nicked again like a week later. The big mad.
Oh my gosh. That is mad.
Those guys are just villains. They're just.
I'm trying to be like them. I'm trying to get to their level.
You're taking your life in your hands to get pictures with pineapples. They nicked the roof, man.
There's levels to this. There are levels to this. Serious levels to this.
Yeah, exactly. Iyanu, you need to level up, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm a level one. Level one thug.
You know what you need to do? You need to steal an entire building.
One up them. One up the roof.
Have you guys watched Rick and Morty? The heistathon. Yeah, the heistathon, and the guy steals a whole planet. He literally steals. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get to.
No, you need to come out. You need to come at night with your squad of 4. Right? Each of you takes a corner. Just lift up the building. Just down the street. No one will question it, man.
No.
From the foundations and everything.
If you wear like a high-vis jacket, they'll just think you're doing it for like a job.
Exactly, it's genius.
No one will ask.
If you wear a high-vis jacket, you can just get into anywhere. No one's going to question it.
As long as you have a clipboard as well.
High-vis jacket.
Don't even need an ID.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, that's mad. What's that song? It's a J. Cole song. Fool me one time, shame on you.
You can't get fooled again.
Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you.
And George Bush says, I think, fool me once, you can't get fooled again. It's like when your school got played.
There's a saying in Tennessee. I think it's.
Oh man.
I swear you're such an idiot. I swear, like, how was your whole president messing up that phrase? Like, there's a saying in Tennessee that goes, "Stop, bro." Just at this point, just waffling.
Oh man.